Back there, I guess we better get back.
Hi, Neil.
Hello, Neil.
Howdy, Daddy.
We're sealing it up. All right. Well, we're here. I'm Chris Barnett. I'm the Orion Township Supervisor. It's 2016, and we got a little fun project we're doing here. Hopefully that in 50 years from now we'll get to, they'll have a lot of fun with this, as much fun as we had putting this together. So I'm going to introduce Dr. Joe Mastermateo, the Director of the Orion Veterans Memorial, Chairman.
Nice to be here, Chris, on this very special day.
We have some special guests here.
Can I introduce our World War II veterans? Ernie Baker, VFW 334 Past Post Commander, and Don Steiner, World War II veteran. We're going to ask these gentlemen to place these chests inside the time capsule, and we're looking forward to that moment. Chris?
Anyone else? Joanne, you want to add anything?
No, just that this is just a great day, and I'm glad the Lord blessed us. And I've worn the Lexington hat in honor of our good friend Joe Zekwich and the Peacoat Monument, and it's just a shame that Joe couldn't be with us today.
We also have board member Neil Porter here.
You get right over here.
We're going to get this guy in here. We have board member Jim Hubbard, VFW. He's also on the Orion Veterans Memorial Board.
Yep.
And we're missing Mike Sweeney and Lisa Sokol aren't able to join us.
And Bob Watros is board member also now.
Bob Watros, not only is he a new board member, but he is the park manager and the main reason that this place stays so pristine. And he's always behind the scenes, but not today. So he's got a can we're going to be bearing as well. I think. With no further ado, I think we'll let these fine gentlemen have the honors. We are burying the time capsule.
Well, we're gonna, as we go, we'll decide. Now,
We opened like 50
just
years.
like
There's
right
Joe
there.
Johnson, the one and only. Always on
All
stage.
right. It's a real honor to place this capsule here to Western. Years from now, they'll be looking at this to see what we put aside.
We have World War II veteran Ernie Baker, World War II veteran Don Steiner doing the honors.
Well, this December, Pearl Harbor Day, will be 75 years since World War II started.
And in another month, Ernie's going to be 90 years old.
Why are you telling how old Ernie is? Here we go. Wow, this is a heavy one. Must be something valuable to this.
That's what everybody's giving me since I've been up here.
That's full of money.
Well, coins of all kinds.
Pretty cool.
Perfect.
Look at all the room we got left.
We will be inserting this plaque which reads, "The people listed below as of Memorial Day 2012 were instrumental in the planning, construction, and continuing operation of the Orion Veterans Memorial." And with that, we have these names: Carl Sorowski, Colette Duwazik, Gerald Duwazik, Matthew Gibb, Michael Ginjo, Joe Gwynn Sr., Richard LeGros, Joseph Mastro Mateo, Lawrence Obrick, Neil Porter, Lisa Sokol, Michael Sweeney, Joanne Van Tassel, Robert Watros, Eric Wilson, and Joseph Zekwich.
You see these two marks, Jim? There's marks on the bottom of that.
Well, it's definitely got a little weight to it, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's granite. It's big. Coming up. Come up the hill. We still got to come up the hill. Down the bunker city in the hole. So we gotta get up.
Let's put our hands in.
Keep in mind that Chris is the only one that's going to be here for the opening. That's
All right.
true, 50 years from now.
All right, go team.
My grandchildren are. We're inviting our grandchildren to make sure they're here that day.
Absolutely.
When we open.
So we're burying a time capsule here at Orion Veterans Memorial. It's September 2016. It's to be opened in September of 2066, 50 years. And so we had each member of the Orion Veterans Memorial Board was able to bury an ammo box of whatever they chose. And so it's been a lot of fun over the last few months deciding what items we would bury. And it'll hopefully be as much fun in 50 years when they see this and they open this up.
When they open it up in 50 years, what do you think they'll discover? What message will they discover?
There's a lot of history, and at least in my box, I try to put things that were current today, which will be history then. And so I hope it'll be as exciting as it was for us to prepare it, for them to kind of have a look back. Who knows what technology is going to be? I put a rather new iPhone in there, a Fitbit watch. This is all the rage. Pretty much everyone has a Fitbit watch in 2016. Keeps track of your steps and how far you walk. And I can only imagine what the technology will be like in 50 years from now. That will probably be it'll be hilarious when they open that. So,
Is there a message you want to say, if you want to look into the camera and deliver a message to the citizens of Lake Orion 50 years from today?
you know, I think regarding this specific time capsule, I think the message would be, please take care of this sacred place that we're at today and where this time capsule is. Thousands and thousands of hours have gone into making this a place of reverence and memory for our veterans, and I can only hope that it's even better in 50 years. But the message today about this would be, Orion Veterans Memorial has been a very special place. We have many ceremonies here every year, attended by hundreds of people, and I would just hope that it would only be better in 2066, and they would be continuing to remember the legacy of those that have been born and raised and ultimately served our country here from Lake Orion.
Now, 50 years from now, when they open up the time capsule, what message do you hope they discover when they go into the time capsule?
That there were an awful lot of dedicated people who appreciated the service of our veterans and who worked diligently over a number of years to build a memorial for our veterans. I'm standing in front of the Peacoat Monument, which was a special project of Joe Zekwich, who served on the USS Lexington. It was hit by kamikaze pilots, and he said that he dedicated his life to remembering all of the service people, whether it was Navy, Marine, Army, Air Corps, who are buried at sea, and that there is no place other than this place where people can come and remember those who were buried at sea. And so to me, it's been a great honor to serve on the Orion Veterans Memorial. I was a member of the chamber, worked with Dr. Joe when he came up with the idea, so I've been involved from the beginning and currently serve as secretary, and my box contains minutes of the meetings where I was secretary. So they'll have a little bit of history of the discussions that we were involved in and what it took to make this place the wonderful memorial that it is.
In the time that you've been here in Lake Orion, you've seen this community grow and change. How would you describe the community today, and what do you predict for the future?
Today this is a mixed community with people who grew up here, lived all their lives here, went to school here, and others who have discovered what a wonderful community this is, where living here is a vacation, and the newer people are discovering what a true gem this is and are making it their home and a place to raise their children and grow their families.
I moved here in 1968, right out of Vietnam. My wife and myself had 3 wonderful sons and grew up in this community. There was a time you could actually walk across this highway and not get, just a few cars in 1968. Now you take your life in your hands, you try to cross the highway. But it's a busy community, it's a growing community, and my wife and I have really, really enjoyed living in Lake Orion. It's just a wonderful atmosphere. big taxes are reasonable, the schools are great, and I couldn't ask for a nicer community to grow up and raise my family in. We're here at the memorial today. I really took an interest in it. I was involved in 1992. I staked the original property and staked the walls and things to be built. But I really got involved probably about 3 years ago with the Fallen Heroes Monument here that you'll see. I just felt that we needed something a little more upbeat that would relate to the Afghan war, Iraqi war veterans a little more. So I raised $10,500 and was able to purchase everything and get the monument set here. And it was just a joy on my part. The community supported me wonderful. When I knocked on doors and stuff, people were handing me $100 bills. It was just absolutely wonderful as far as the being able to create and gather this stuff and have the Fallen Heroes Monument here. So I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed working with all the people of the board, and especially with Bob being the park manager. I enjoy coming up and helping Bob. And I'm currently the commander of the VFW here, and we do a lot, both financially, and all our members come up and celebrate with all the different things that we do here. It's just a wonderful time to be alive and well. So.
50 years from now, I'd like to see the time capsule open and people just motivated to continue the patriotism with which this memorial was constructed. We certainly work hard towards that goal in these past 23 years since its beginning, and I only wish I could be here when that happened.
Just to give people an idea of the current times, there's current controversy in the news about athletes who chose not to stand for the national anthem. As a veteran, what's your reaction to that? The headlines on the news today.
I have two feelings. Number one, the gut feeling is how disrespectful that is, and on the other hand, they live in a land of freedom of expression, and they certainly are expressing their feelings even though it doesn't agree with mine. And I hopefully that someday they'll change their minds and express their patriotism in a much better way.
Every time you hold an event here at the memorial, this community turns out. They show their respect. They attend these events. They help support this monument. What can you say about the community that comes out here and help make this monument possible?
I can't praise them enough. It's an outpouring of patriotism, love of country, love of the service of past patriots who have given their lives over these 240 years. And this is, every ceremony is a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
I tell you, most of us believe in what we're doing here. I think that's the most important thing. I think we're doing a good thing. I think the people appreciate what we're doing. I think that citizens donating to this shows that they like what we're doing. We've had no big donors, not really. It's been all the people of Oxford, Orion, and the surrounding area that's built this memorial. And we're proud of it. And I'm up here in the mornings most of the time, and people stop by, just to say how good it looks. We have a woman that bought a $1,000 brick over there and put it in, and her message on that brick was she wonders what these guys are talking about up here, So we have fun up here too. We pick on each other's branch of service and all of that, but we like each other, and we're good. And I think our VFW post 334 has been a big help. And you saw Ernie Baker, our World War II veteran, Don Steiner. They mean a lot to everybody.
What message did you want to include in the time capsule? When they open it up 50 years from now, what do you want them to know?
Well, how many people it took to build this. It isn't just the few of us that you see here that did this. There's hundreds, In our donor wall up there, if you look at that, that's part of the people, but not all, who's helped build this memorial. So it's been hundreds of people, and I've put all their business cards that I've had over the years, I stuck them all in my time capsule. And these guys are the ones that built this memorial.
There's an expression that it takes a village. I guess that's true with this memorial.
Well, it is, and it's really true with this one because that's what done it, And we've had people like you, the Orion Review, people who publicize it for us, and that's helped a lot too, But no, and I think for myself and our crew that works here on maintenance, we believe in what we're doing, And I could tell you a story about every brick in here. Every one of these bricks, and there's over 1,500, everyone has a story, and I've heard them all, And you'll see people standing here, a lady standing here with tears in her eyes. It's usually an anniversary of the person's death, and that happens quite a bit. We've got a flag right behind me stuck in the bricks. I don't know if you can see that. That boy committed suicide, and the father's having a hard time with it. And we just let him stand there and look. That's what he wants to do. The Blaylock family, the same thing. That family comes and looks at that brick, and it brings back memories to them, good memories, So, no, this means a lot to a lot of people now. Yeah.
When the group broke ground on this 20 years ago, they never could have envisioned that this monument would be used as the 9/11 ceremony.
No, absolutely.
Talk about that. What did you observe here just this past Sunday?
Well, you were here. The seriousness of what happened on that 15 years ago on 9/11. I remember what I was doing. Everybody remembers what they were doing that day. It's almost like Pearl Harbor Day, that those old folks remembered what they were doing. And I think Bob Smith brought it all back home to us. The young little girl that spoke, the young lady that re-enlisted in the service that day, that brought back a lot of memories because that's the same oath we all took, when we entered the service. So, and the look on all those guys' faces that stood here that day in uniform, the policemen, the firemen, EMS, it was a serious day for them, And I like to see it. I commented to Bob afterwards, I like to see the memorial used for that kind of thing. It was a good day for us. Yep.
Well, my name's Ernie Baker. I'm a World War II veteran. I enlisted in October of 1942 when I was 17. I ended up serving with the 96th Infantry Division in the Philippines, and I've lived here in Orion Township for a number of years. And it's a great community. Very few communities can boast a Veterans Memorial like the one we have here in Lake Orion. A lot of people have dedicated a lot of their time here working, keeping it pristine. And I'm proud to have a brick and one also for my brother who served during the Korean War. So 50 years from now, who knows what the world's going to be like. It changes so fast, it's even hard to believe what's happened 5 years ago because it's incredible how fast things change in this world. But it's a pleasure to be here today and to help put the information in the time capsule. And whoever opens it, I hope you find it interesting. Thank you.
If you were to watch the news today or pick up a paper, which not many people seem to read newspapers anymore, one of the headlines that you see almost on a daily basis is people are discussing what patriotism is today. There are some who choose not to stand for the national anthem in protest. Talk about that. That's one of the biggest topics as we stand here right now. What's your opinion on that subject?
Well, these people that protest the flag, and to me it's ridiculous. Some of them are very well, highly paid players that have all the benefits of this country, and they've got a chip on their shoulder for some reason, who knows why, but they're not serving any purpose by sitting down during the national anthem. They ought to go to Delaware when they bring these planes in with the bodies of Americans that have died in Iraq or Afghanistan and the flag-draped coffins. If they looked at that, I think they might have a different idea what this flag really stands for. But this country, I don't believe it's nearly as divided as people seem to think it is. There's it's a lot of misconception, and I just think things are getting better all the time. So I certainly do not have any prejudice. In fact, I have a grandson that's going to be married to a black girl, and I'm very happy with that. So anyway, it's a different world. It's changing, but and I hope it changes for the better.
My name is Don Steiner. I'm a World War II veteran, served in the United States Navy during 1942 to 45. Was in the Mediterranean and then over in the Pacific aboard an LST. This is a very special day, and it's a very special time for us as veterans to be here and for this committee to be here as well. 50 years from now, my goodness, I can't imagine that. Since I'm 91, I probably won't be here at that time. But I would just like to say to those that open these capsules, remember, there is an awful lot of work that has gone into the building of this memorial and maintaining it, and it's just been something exceptional. And I trust that 50 years from now, it'll still be in pristine condition as it is today.
Since you served in World War II, you've seen many other conflicts throughout the years. Korean War, Vietnam War, Gulf War. Do you ever envision a day, maybe within these next 50 years, where all this nonsense will come to an end?
I would certainly hope so. I certainly would hope that all the leaders of our world, especially those of the United States of America, would do everything in their power to bring a peace about. We realize that according to the Bible, the only time there will be real peace is when Jesus Christ comes back again. But we need, as a nation, as a people, as leaders of our nation, to do everything we can to try to maintain and provide peace for our country.